Today I'm with Louise Heta, who is an accredited practicing dietitian and nutritionist. Louise, thank you for having me in your office today.
You're welcome, Dani.
Now, I would love you to answer for me. What do you think is healthy? It's a pretty broad question.
It's really defined by what your body actually believes is healthy for it. So it's really important to find the balance between nutrition and all the knowledge that we have, but also even more importantly is our intuition. So what our body actually is telling us that it really needs and wants.
So you've been working in this industry for over 10 years. You've worked with a variety of people, from professional athletes like AFL footballers, the Olympic swimming team, to just ordinary everyday people of all shapes and sizes. Is there any particular diet that you would recommend for people?
Well, the word diet, when you think about it, it really makes you feel like restriction or rules.
Definitely.
So anytime you are following a set of rules, even if it's a really super healthy diet, you basically set yourself up to fail, because unless you can maintain it forever, you basically are going to go in and out of being good and being bad, and that's where the real trap is.
I also think diets create like a sense of guilt.
Oh, absolutely. It can become really obsessive, and they go through this circle of guilt, restriction, and then binging, and then they start back up again, and it basically never ends.
So if it's not a diet, what is good for us and what would you recommend?
Well, I'm a non-diet approach dietitian, and we basically believe that if we learn how to listen to the body properly, it will actually guide us. And so it's always important to eat whole foods and real foods, and try and make sure you actually think about what you really feel like, because that actually most of the time will be nutritious foods, because that's what your body actually wants.
So you don't believe in cutting out food groups then?
Well, I believe it's really important to eat all the food groups, but rather than taking things out, you should be thinking about adding things in that you haven't tried before. So new foods that you know people are talking about that seem to be maybe healthy, give you lots of nutrition, and trying new foods rather than taking things out, because that always leads to the feeling of missing out. It's really important to listen to what your body tells you it wants, rather than trying to have a lower fat version or a lower calorie version, because then your body actually will be looking for that later anyway. And so that's when it's really important to recognize what is hunger and what is fullness. So we use something called the hunger scale, which is just this scale here. And it's important to recognise that hunger is really a big sort of area. It's not just I'm hungry or I'm full. You know, we can obviously be starving, and we can obviously be totally stuffed full, which, you know, is when we almost feel sick. But there's this comfort zone, and a lot of people are scared to let themselves feel natural hunger. So number 3 on the scale is really that nice natural, hey, I feel hungry, I feel like a meal. And, you know, around about a 5 is neutral, and a lot of women mistaken a 5 as, if I'm not full, I must be hungry, because they forget what hunger feels like because of all the dieting that they've been doing. And that disconnects you from your natural ability to feel hunger. And then around a 6 to a 7 is that feeling of, I feel satisfied, but I'm not stuffed full. And so we basically can be in this comfortable zone, and really, if we can eat more often when we're hungry and less often when we're not, we actually are going to decrease the amount of food we eat anyway, which is actually essentially what all diets are trying to get us to do.
So eat more often?
Depending on your hunger.
Okay.
Yeah. So not really.
So smaller meals throughout the day?
If your body is not hungry that many times a day, then no.
So don't stick to time regimes or follow diet rules, just throw them out and listen to your body.
If you have an opportunity to totally spend a day honouring your hunger, which is only eating when you feel actual hunger, you'll be really surprised at how little food that your body needs for the day. And that's without having to follow any rules. It's just about going, hey, I'm neutral at the moment. What's the worst thing that can happen if I wait another half an hour till I get to that 3? Nothing. So let's try and honour our hunger. If we're really busy and we've got set times of eating, we have to eat practically at times.
So staying in that comfort zone and not letting your body be starved or stuffed is really important, and then your body will naturally find its optimal weight.
We have something called a set point, and basically that's where our body likes to keep us. And if we're trying to go below that or above that, our body will often resist. So that's why it's so hard to gain or to lose weight. Even, you know, losing weight can be really difficult, but also gaining weight. So if we stay in the comfort zone, if we eat all foods, but listen to what we feel like, and we eat with a sense of mindfulness, which is really tasting, enjoying, slowing down our eating, well, basically our body will find its natural set point. And what we need to work on is being accepting of that.
Definitely, that's what I was going to say. Rather than striving to be skinny, let's strive to be healthy and satisfied with our own bodies, comfortable in our own skin.
It's so important to work on acceptance, because otherwise you can spend your whole life trying to be a weight that you're not meant to be. And for a lot of people, that's a really miserable life, and it's actually not okay to live like that.
I know so many people that are striving to lose that last 5 kilos, and they have been for as long as I've known them, and it's not working. So I think that is such an important message. And the last question I'm going to ask you is, what are your tips for living a wholehearted life?
It's really important to enjoy food. Food's amazing, as you know, and being able to eat it mindfully, so looking at it, smelling it, eating it slowly, and really having that full experience with it is actually something that brings us a lot of joy. And at the same time, it actually will help us be a healthy weight. So don't be scared of food, don't be scared of hunger, really embrace all foods and really embrace your intuition and trust your body again, just like we did when we were little. Trust it again like as an adult, and really put all the rules and diets behind you.
I think that is just so important, and I really hope that people can take away that message. Thank you for spending some time with me today and sharing some of your incredible knowledge with me.
No worries. Thanks, Dani.